Hey, welcome to the Retail Fix It podcast. I'm Lance Calvert, your host. Retail Contracting Service is a national facility maintenance management company, meaning we perform repairs in every trade across the whole country. A little bit about me, I've been in this for 25 years. I grew up in construction prior to that with my dad. But I started this business in 2000. It's been quite a journey, and we're doing some really exciting things today. We got a great team, got great technology. There's been a lot of changes in the industry. We came from the days of indoor malls and those kind of things, and things have just changed so drastically. But the needs have changed, and the service providers, the whole country has changed, and there's a lot of things that we want to talk about that can improve what's going on in this industry and how we can take an approach to succeed for all parties. But, the customer's paying the bills, and that's really important, and we really got to win for them. So today we're going to talk about Reformation. I've learned there's revival and then there's Reformation. And I think revival is sort of when, things hit the fan, or you find inefficiencies in an industry or in a business or in anything really, and you find out that the problems are there, and then everybody immediately does damage control and response. And those are typically temporary. Revival seems to be reactive and temporary. I think that Reformation is a different thing, and Reformation often requires tearing down and rebuilding and making more permanent changes. And I believe that we're in an hour history in this country and in the business sector, but even in national facility management, where there's reformation needed for it to really be successful and lasting and feel like there's some solid ground under it. I've had tremendous amount of sales calls with major retailers and really successful multi-site owner facilities, 500 stores, thousands of stores, people that need our help. I've been the salesperson on those calls, and I listen and hear, and I see their pain points, but I see their hesitations and all these kind of things too. And nobody really knows how stable a national facility maintenance management company is going to be for them until they're kind of knee deep in it. And they need a real good understanding of what they're going to be buying into. And so I think there's some stigmas and there's some fog of war from the past. There's all this stuff of the past and the way this industry started, and then what it's been through, and some of the players that were in it, and some of them kind of nasty and not particularly in line with what would have been healthy or successful for maybe the customer or even for themselves, and would have even been healthy for the service providers. And there's a way that that's approached. If you think about it, you've got two totally different types of people that you're dealing with. You have a retailer or a restaurant owner or just a big corporation that owns hundreds of stores or thousands of stores. That's a whole different world than a service provider, technician, a local electrician, or local grassroots handyman or plumber. Those are two completely polar opposite worlds, and they don't understand each other. I'm just going to tell you. I used to be a tech in the field in a former life. I grew up in construction. I've worked for 25 years with these big corporations, and so I've listened to them. There's a lot of good people. They share a lot of their heart and their fears and their, the things that they are concerned about, a lot of the failures that they've had with working for companies like ours. A lot of them have had a lot of failures and a lot of turnover with national facility maintenance companies, and so by the time I talked to them, they've heard, a lot of it. They've tried it and had some successes, but they've had some failures too. So the levels of trust are at an all-time low. The levels of dependability are at an all-time low. Finding the right partnerships, good people on both sides, and for a customer to find the right national facility maintenance company, for us as the national facility maintenance company to find the right partnering customers. We have to find the right service providers. And I think what everybody's looking for is somebody they can trust. I think they're looking for exposure. They're looking for dependability. They're looking for a company that's going to offer that type of exposure to where there's not guesswork ever. They've got things delivered to them. Customers have their job exposures delivered to them in real time from go in a way that makes them feel comfortable going in and in a lasting way. But, how do we accomplish that as a client of our customers? When I say Reformation, unfortunately, there's a lot of very little good-hearted, everyone wins culture in the industry. And A lot of people are only in it for the cash. They're not in it to build a community or to build culture. And of course, we're all in business to succeed and grow, and it requires money to grow and scale. So I'm not trying to get sappy with that, but there's turn 'em and burn 'em jobs type of FM companies that are literally just trying to turn jobs and turn cash, and they have no idea. Focusing on who they're hiring and how to take care of those people, from even their own teams to the vendor service providers they might be sending these opportunities to. So bad vendors too, loud, rude, demanding payment, expensive, low quality, no data. These kind of people are out there. So there's a such thing as really getting the right person or the bad person, but there's bad FM companies. So on both sides, from my relationship down to the service provider and from who the service provider is up, and then even who the customers are, there's a lot of things to avoid. There's a lot of things to understand that you could gravitate towards, but there's reformation needed. And I think maybe the stigma, right, is there. The stigmas are there. There's customers of ours that have just a preconceived notion of what it's going to be like because they've been burned or they've had these different bad experiences. But, customers and vendors don't understand each other. They're two separate worlds, The stigma toward a national facility maintenance company or towards a corporate client from a service provider vendor, a grassroots electrician or plumber or handyman or some guy in the field that's out there in a local town to do a job for us, there's stigmas that they have towards national facility maintenance companies and towards multi-location facility owners. They won't pay us, there's too much paperwork, and the processes are too stringent. They're going to give us the runaround. We're not going to wait for our money. Different things and stigmas that need to be dealt with in order to succeed. If I just push my vendors around and service providers around and don't address those stigmas, then that's going to cause costs to come fluttering up. But don't hear me wrong, there's bad vendors that carry those negativities that they were the problem. Some of them have been burned. It's not that simple, but some of them just have their own inefficiencies and blame for that. So we get it, we understand, and that kind of backfired on us for a couple customer relationships, honestly. But it's really good to learn to, those successes and failures, because you kind of, you get humbled and then you get empowered and you kind of find yourself in the experience realm of knowing how to approach the next customer, be sensitive to listen strong and find out what their heart is and what their experiences were and what their fears or apprehensions might be, and kind of work in that if you can, as much as we can. So Retail Fix It is a company that really wants to pioneer community in this industry. We're not in this to have a customer for 6 months. We want to have the same customer that we've grown culture with years down the road. We know that transparency is something that will help to pioneer community. And so we want to breathe fresh air into this industry in a way that everybody can kind of let their past of it go a little bit and really have some trust for each other, obviously confirming all that. But we want to build that reformation through consistency and trust that we've proven. And so it's exciting what's going on, but we want to continue down that path of making this industry have a sense of order and culture where these customers feel like the national facility maintenance company they're working with has got some real solutions and some stability and some good people in it that are focusing on what's going on. Our team, as much as we depend on automation, and that saves our customers a tremendous amount of money because, in the transactional space of answering phones and emails and all these things, we've got the system doing a lot of that for us. And that's very important in this industry because this industry does so much small jobs. So we've kind of purged the teams out of being administrators and up into the compliance realm. And that's where they need to live, because complying with what is required to win for the customer is something that the service providers need help with. They need to know what deliverables we need and what we expect quality-wise and delivery-wise and communication-wise, cost-wise, to get those things to our customers and do it consistently. In order to really succeed, cost, quality, efficiency, communication for your customers, you've got to do that. You've got to have the right techs, and you've got to have really, really streamlined ways for them to work with you. So we're not costing our customer more because we're making things so easy on the right service providers that they are wanting to and attracted to us too, and feel like they have the right partner. They're able to get some wind under their sails and really cut down their cost and still do these jobs and run around town and get them done. So what is a good service provider? They're quick, responsive, and that's just from the time they answer the phone or set the ETA of when they're going to be there is, early. They never answer their phone or these kind of things. You've got a problem there, and it's a red flag really. But fair pricing, the same people, the same service providers that want too much money are the same service providers that'll cuss you out. They're the same service providers that'll run you around. They're the same ones that'll do a halfway job. They're the same ones that'll just have no quality. It's funny. They carry all the same characteristics, the bad ones do. But the good ones, they have fair price. They do a quality job, and they communicated well. So what we've found is when somebody's real bad in one area, they're probably bad in all those areas. So it's about making life easy for the right vendors and holding the right vendors accountable. And so if with that mixture of those three things, you're really getting close to having a quality thing that'll blow your customers away, because they haven't seen that from some of the other experiences that they've had working with national facility maintenance companies. So for hard is quality and communication and trust levels and cost efficiency. These are promises that I make during sales calls to my customers. And so my team knows what those are about. We have monthly touch points with our customers after we onboard them. So we're hearing from them, and then they're hearing from us, and then we're delivering the feedback down to our team, and then vice versa. And so that has proven to be key. It really has. And this is the type of culture we want to create. This is the type of reformation that we're talking about, is real focused, real people. And you know what? Disciplining your team, vendors, all of that is so good for the team and for the vendors. These things take disciplines. These things I'm talking about of compliance and consistency, communication and cost and quality. You cannot accomplish this just with computers and automation. You have to have a trained, disciplined team that's willing to believe in this thing and run after it. And the way to do that is for them to be disciplined and having those tough conversations sometimes with the service provider and having to reassign a job if they're going to reset the ETA too many times, or if they sent a quote too many times that was the wrong pricing. So these things require discipline. And that actually purges our teams and our vendors into a better future for themselves, creating that kind of culture. So those are the things that are happening at Retail Fix-It. That's what we're doing. And we believe it's going to reform this entire industry in the business realm in the United States. And that's what we're in it for. We have a calling to do that. It's not just about money. It's about culture. It's about making a team that really focuses and looks each other in the eye and can trust each other and can hold each other accountable. We just want to thank you guys so much for being a part of the Retail Fix-It podcast. We are a national facility maintenance company. We believe that we are storming the industry with some technology and some trends and some really a heart to reform the industry and make a lasting impact on the community of the business sector of America and specifically in national facility maintenance. So we really are glad that you guys joined us today, and like and subscribe and share, ring the bell and make a comment. All those things help us out, and we really appreciate that from you guys. But if you're a service provider, sign on with us, join the podcast. But customers, decision makers, facility managers, we find our place in all of that and see what we can do to help. We just really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope that the information you're getting from this is informative and helpful and helping to build this culture and this reformation that's needed in the industry. So thank you for joining the Retail Fix-It podcast. We'll see you next time.